Thank you guys for joining the session today. I'm going to cover about overview of robotics process automation and its use case in Oracle eBusiness Suite. About me, this is Venkanna M. I am an Oracle ACE. I have over 22 years of experience working with Oracle eBusiness and Oracle technologies, focusing on implementing, designing, developing, and maintaining of Oracle eBusiness applications. I've been specializing in supply chain modules, implementations, and solutions since 2013. I have worked at Oracle Corporation for the EBS product development from 2000 to 2006. Currently, I'm the lead Oracle application analyst at Siemens Corporation. I am actually involved in the Oracle applications technology user group community and holding a couple of board positions. I'm the board member for the Texas Louisiana Regional User Group and board member in Emerging Technologies, User Management, Role-Based Access Control, and Procurement Special Interest Groups. I write ERP blog as well. My blog URL is www.pm-oracle.com. First letter from my first name and last letter from my last name, pm-oracle.com. Primarily, I'm focusing on writing articles about Oracle eBusiness Suite Release 12.2 and emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, robotic process automation, blockchain, and the digital assistants. That's about me. Agenda for the session today. Overview of RPA, benefits of RPA and RPA use case, robotics process automation for RFQ, request for quote process in Oracle eBusiness Suite. So overview of RPA. What is RPA? RPA is an application of technology. It is governed by business logic and structured inputs aimed at automating business processes. RPA is not screen scraping or application programming interfaces or scripting or macros, or it is not a business intelligence, it is not artificial intelligence or machine learning. How do you define the RPA? Robotic process automation, RPA for a short, is the utilization of the robotic software to perform repetitive digital tasks that human performs day-to-day operations. It can perform repetitive and structured transactions processes. The prerequisite for RPA solution, the process should be lean, documented, has been standardized in practice. The software uses bots, which works with multiple applications to perform tasks faster, better, and in a more efficient way. The bot or the robot should be a virtual worker who can be rapidly trained to take over standard and routine tasks. What a RPA software can do for you? It performs repetitive and structured transaction processes, operates on the user interface in the same way that human would do, and it validates data in places that are complex for people to understand. So it can read the structural digital inputs from email, spreadsheets, workflow, PDF, database, ERP or CRM applications, and web services. It operates on the user interface in the same way that a human would do. It can enter the transactions, or it can update the transactions, or it can delete the transactions, output or upload the data. It can send an email, or it can generate in any Excel file. It can progress the workflow. It can save the data in the database, or it can enter the transactions in the database. It can enter the transactions in the ERM and CRM, ERP and CRM applications. It can initiate in a web service. It can run the reports as well. It can cut down the cost by letting machines handle repeatable processes 24/7. It scales up operations and processes rapidly in your company. Processes to target. The process should be mature and stable. It should have a high volume of transactions. Currently, it will have a lot of manual efforts to enter these transactions and time consuming. And secondly, if it is interacting with the multiple software applications, it is a good fit for the RPA automation. And low exceptional rate, especially if the process should have very low exception. Otherwise, due to a lot of manual releases, it's hard to automate. Highly rule-based and readable text format. So the other question for all the audience or for the business people is, will a robot take my job? The answer is no, but it's not, maybe, but RPA is not AI. It is just a replication of the task at a maximum speed. It is essentially a macro on steroids that is not confined to a single program or system. It can free you up from the repetitive and erroneous tasks, help you to focus on adding value to the business, most importantly to your customers. Who are all the major players in the RPA space? Blue Prism, UiPath, Automation Anywhere. There are some more players in the RPA space, but these three are very popular. Oracle Integration Cloud offers process automation capabilities. Oracle is partnered with the UiPath and Automation Anywhere RPA vendors for many of its RPA service offerings. Benefits of RPA: higher quality. It improves the data quality. It has an audit trail, and you can run some analytical reports also. Productivity increases. The reason being, we can run the bots 24/7, 365 days. It adds value, so and enhance the process also, and increase customer satisfaction. Cost reduction. Low startup cost. Developing a bot application is very simple. It's not that complicated, and you will get the return on investment, and you can eliminate the repetitive work. Rather than users working on the repetitive tasks, we can automate so that bot can perform those tasks. Ease of implementation. It is faster and simplifier, and we can scale up and scale down whenever it's needed. So that is the flexibility of the RPA application or bots. So today I'm going to cover about one of the RPA use case which we did in our company. That is the request for code process automation. Prior to automation, this process was done manually, but later, because of the high volume and time-consuming effort for the buyer, so we decided to, business requested for automated this process. And buyer receives code request from auto create screen on Oracle EBS purchasing. The objective of the bot will be to collect all the code requests for a particular commodity code or inventory category and send out code packages to suppliers via email. The underlying application for this process, Oracle EBS Suite, Team Center, Excel, and Outlook, and the detailed process steps. Get all the open requisition lines from auto create screen in Oracle eBusiness Suite using purchasing responsibility. So these requisition lines are not yet converted to PO. The second step is get the drawing number, material spec, heat treatment specification, and quality provision codes. Those are certificate related, certificate requirement, quality QPC codes, attributes in information from item master in Oracle Inventory. Once you have the requisition line items and the line attributes information, then download the drawing documents from the Team Center applications using drawing numbers. Then send an email to supplier using Outlook. These are the 4 detailed steps. Now I will switch to the live demo. So give me a second. And so now I'm going to start the bot application. I'm going to run the bot. Okay. So I'm running the bot now. The first step is to log into Oracle eBusiness application. So what we did is we set up a separate account for the bot to run this process, and the username which is set up for the bot of this bot. You have to make sure that it is SOX compliance, and yeah. Now the bot logs into the eBusiness applications using its own username and password. So the next step is it is going to access the auto create screen using PO buyer responsibility. So it is going to open the auto create screen, and once it opens the auto create screen, it is going to take out the buyer information, then query for all the open requisition lines. And once it shows up the open requisition line, then it's going to export it to the next step should be exporting to the Excel. So we exported all the open requisition lines from auto create screen to the Excel file. So the next step is to get the item additional information like item attributes information like drawing number, material spec, heat treatment spec, and quality provision codes. So it will go back to Oracle eBusiness Suite application, and then it will query the items using the organizational item screen one by one, and gets the related the attributes information like the drawing number, material spec, heat treatment spec, and quality provision code for each of the parts mentioned in the Excel file, and writes into the Excel. So now, the Excel file has all the open requisition line items, and it has a line attributes information like a drawing number, material spec, heat treatment spec, QPC codes. So the next step is to download the design engineering drawing documents for those parts using the drawing numbers. So now it will log into the Team Center application using its own username and password. then it is going to query the drawing document in the PLM, in the Team Center applications using the drawing number. So once it queries the engineering document, it is going to save the engineering drawing document local to the desktop. It will download the document. So it is going to do for all the drawing numbers, and save it to the local desktop, the design documents. So the next step is to, now if you look into the Excel file, so it has all the requisition line items, it has the drawing number, QPC code, material spec, HTS spec, then the engineering drawing documents in a local folder. So now it is going to send an email to supplier using Outlook for the RFQ. So it is sending an email to the supplier. So it got all the requisition line item information from the Excel file and copy pasted to the mail body. Then it attached the engineering design documents, because we downloaded for all the drawing numbers, in particular inventory category or commodity code, and saved into the desktop. So this design document has the attached file as the drawing documents for all the parts which are mentioned in this email. Now it is going to send a mail to supplier. So this is the last step, and this completes the use case demo. And that's all I plan to cover for this session. And the Oracle ACE program, it recognizes and rewards the community members for their contributions to the Oracle community. There are 3 levels: ACE Director, ACE, and ACE Associate. You can take a look about this Oracle ACE program using this URL. And that's all for this session. If you guys have any questions, please let me know.